Metalheads listeners, it's me, Eddie D, back again with another episode of this beautiful madness that we call the IMhC. This episode doesn't need much introduction. I love this band, so just sit back, relax, and enjoy the mayhem. It's Eddie D and Dr. D with Chris Appleton from Absolva. So thanks a million, Chris, for joining us. I know you're a very busy man, although you have a very rare break at the moment.
Yeah, no problem. Good to be here. You know, I always like doing things like this. So, yeah, and it is very rare to have 5 minutes sit down for half an hour.
Yeah, plenty of time for writing new material.
Well, believe it or not, yeah, that's we're actually working on a few bits and pieces right now with Absolva and Blaze. So yeah, I am taking advantage of the time. That and doing boring stuff like go to the bank and going for the weekly shop,
Yeah.
You see, it doesn't take very long when you're home that normal things suddenly just take over. So it's like, oh yeah, what am I going to get from Lidl this afternoon? So then suddenly I get my Lidl app out on my phone. It's like, oh, I've got 6 coupons on different fruit and veg this week. So suddenly, 1 minute you're at Nebworth, and then the next minute you're like working out how much discount you can get on your scratch cards. And
Yeah, there's a thin line between mayhem going live and then sitting back home. And
I think I know it's a thin line, but I'm 100% convinced I'm not alone with this. Because I'm sure the Steve Harris and the James Hetfields, they've all got to go shopping, haven't they?
Yeah.
So, are they a Lidl shopper or the Marks and Spencer's shopper? That's a different story,
Yeah. Maybe they're on the sheep. They have those millions for a reason, so they're going to.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And that's the thing in Lidl. Everyone thinks, oh yeah, it's skinflints. It says, but you look at the car parks at Lidl and Aldi. They've all got posh cars.
Yeah.
They've all got Mercedes and BMWs. So they must be doing something right.
Yeah, and they're always nice and clean as well. You never see a dirty fancy car in the
That's
car.
It, yeah. How did we get onto this already?
Life is taken over completely.
Yeah. So yeah, heavy metal.
Heavy metal, yes. Yeah, I'll kick it off actually. We saw you for the first time a couple of years ago in Cork supporting Blaze Bailey. And the one song there's always a song that hits me and it's like, fuck, I really wish I wrote that song. And it was Never a Good Day to Die.
Yeah.
That to me is going to be a timeless classic. It's just powerful, it's so simple. It's always those simple lyrics that become the best. Now, there's never a good day to die, never a good way to say goodbye. Just perfect. Who wrote that? Those lyrics?
That was myself.
Yeah.
So at the time, and I remember that Cork gig very well. By the way,
that was savage.
that weekend certainly went down in history with all of us. And I'll get back to that in a minute. The song "Never a Good Day to Die." It almost could be like a James Bond movie.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I was going with it. And there was a lot of people that I knew that were going through, some heavy losses in their families and friends and whatever. But yeah, I sometimes listen to the lyric and I think, if I did like a piano version of this song, could it be, the next James Bond theme tune or something, the next James Bond movie? So that was kind of the thing. And I like long titles, Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, it's a classic long title thing. So I thought, Never a Good Day to Die. I thought it has a really nice ring to it. And but it's not a complicated song. It's got a riff, it's got a verse, it's got a solo, and it's got these nice harmonies in it.
Yeah.
And it very much represents, a turning point in Absolva's sound. Because that's when kind of my brother Luke, he came back properly after he had a kind of a gap, when he joined Iced Earth. And that was kind of the reason why the birth of Absolva happened.
Yeah.
Because we were always Fury UK, myself, my brother Luke, and Martin. And then after we did, a European tour supporting Iced Earth in Europe, their bass player left. And without an audition, Luke got the call saying, "Oh, you've got the job," kind of thing, if you want it. And then because we were a three-piece, Fury UK, we kind of didn't want to audition another bass player. We just said, let's make a new band kind of thing, start afresh. And that was the birth of Absolva. And of course, when you join a band like Iced Earth, there's a lot of politics involved with, are you getting paid as on a retainer? Are you doing this? Are you allowed to play with other bands, or are you exclusive to that band?
Yeah.
So there was a few years where he was kind of exclusive to Iced Earth, and that was it. So I'm like, well, there's no point in doing anything. Yeah. And then it got to a point where there was a couple of quiet spells of touring. So he approached Iced Earth and says, I'd like to, get back playing with my brother, and he's got this band Absolva. How about it, kind of thing? Yeah. So Never a Good Day to Die album marked the kind of return of Luke with the songwriting with myself and playing. So it was a big turning point with Absolva, and it's nearly, I think it's 11 or nearly 12 years old now, that album.
Right.
I have to pinch myself because next year we're celebrating our 15th anniversary of Absolva.
Yeah, we're going to bring that up. All right, 15 years is. It's a good for many bands now. That's a good time these days. That's a great length of time for a band to be going.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, we were looking back on like some posters from our first out from our debut album days, and some festivals. And we look down the list of bands. They've split up. They're not together anymore. They changed the name. They've split up. They've split up. They've split up. I'm like, there's nobody left. It's like, I do wonder sometimes if half the battle of kind of sustaining a career in music is actually just surviving.
Yeah. It's like a carousel these days. It just he's in this band now, and wait, he was in that band last week, but where's that band gone? You just can't keep track of some of them.
It can be a rocky road sometimes, keeping a band together. But sometimes I think some of the trick is actually just staying together, keeping going. You might end up like a couple of these bands where there's only one original member. But so be it. Carry on. Think times change or whatever. So I am very proud that we're making it to 15 years next year, and we've got a lot of big plans for it. But it feels good, and we're kind of what we've done, 7 studio albums, 3 live albums.
Is that including the new live album coming out this year?
That's included the new one, live in Mannheim. It actually arrived yesterday at the headquarters. So I had it in my hand yesterday. It just arrived, and it looks great, sounds great, and I'm quite glad we could do a live album from Germany. Live in Mannheim. Mannheim's a fantastic city if you don't know it, and it's got a real great heavy metal pedigree.
Right.
And this particular venue that we play, it's one of our favourites. It's not too big, but the owners and all the engineers and all the staff there are just very heavy metal, very very respectful from like the old school British heavy metal ways. They're all heavily influenced by Maiden, Saxon, and Sabbath and all that. So Motorhead they're like Led Zeppelin in Germany. So I was very happy we could document kind of our German fan base and our German friends on this live album. And of course, it's marking the new lineup, which is over 12 months old now.
So Tom is on the live album, is he?
Tom's on the live album,
Yeah.
and then it also marks Luke going back to his as what he says his first instrument, the bass, and then Martin's. I don't think Martin can do anything else. Actually, I said to him, I said, if you didn't play drums, what do you think you could do? Well, not a lot. It's like, I've worked it out. Martin's been in every band I've ever been in for over 20 years.
Right.
So whenever I've turned around, Martin's always been sat there.
Yeah.
But yeah, an interesting piece of information is Tom's back, and of course he was the original Absolva guitar player on the first Absolva album.
Right.
So he returns, and then Luke is back on bass, who, of course, he hasn't really played bass in a band with me since Fury UK, since before he joined Iced Earth.
Yeah.
And even though we all know each other, and it's actually the first time Absolva is 100% Mancunian, how that has happened, only now. And Luke and Tom have actually never been in a band together before.
Jeez.
So even though they were actually friends in the very, very beginning, and then Tom joined Absolva and Luke went to join Iced Earth, they've never actually been in a band together. So it's really strange. The four of us have been friends for so long, and this is the first kind of incarnation of this Absolva, which feels absolutely the most natural lineup of all.
Yeah.
Probably because of that, because we don't even think about what we're doing, and we all feel very comfortable in our own skin around each other.
Yeah.
So it's good to document it like that on Live in Mannheim. That's kind of like the return of this. I'll say the return. It's the new Absolva. I'm just gibbering on there.
And you can kind of see it in the new music video, The Street Fighters of
Blackford Bridge.
Yeah, you're still making music videos, and you're still making them well. I can say that. That one was it was put together very fast because we thought this year's been very quiet for Absolva because we've been so busy with Blaze Bailey. Yeah.
Because he's kind of riding high at the moment with the 50 years of Iron Maiden. We got the Nebworth thing. He had the Iron Maiden movie on the red carpet, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of a big year for him. So Absolva's been a little bit quieter this year because we're kind of teeing up for the 15th anniversary year next year. But like you said, we need to keep the fans happy with some content.
Yeah.
So, I came up with this live album, Live in Mannheim. We thought we'd do a nice music video with the Street Fighters of Blackford Bridge. And we did that over at the Waterloo in Blackpool, which is a great venue. Again, very, very Motorhead themed venue.
Yeah.
They've got their own Lemmy's bar, and they've got an actual Lemmy Marshall stack in a display cabinet.
Fuck, we're going there for a few points.
It's a magnificent place. It's completely independent.
Yeah.
And they turned the darts room into a second bar. And the reason they did that was they were opening the doors for all their gigs and shows at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, normal gig time.
Yeah.
And so everybody was going for a pint at the Indian restaurant next door before the gig. So they were like, we're losing loads of custom here. So they closed the darts room off from the rest of the building and built like a small kind of, what do you call it? Like a microbrewery type thing.
Yeah.
And then got a load of European Pilsners and ales and whatever. And then they said, right, this bar opens at 3 o'clock and we'll sell beer to all the customers right up until, 7, 8, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then they can go to the main venue. Absolute genius,
yeah.
criminal genius, probably. You know, but all the memorabilia, you know, they had lots of vinyl set in resin on the floor, all the gig posters up. It's just a really cool place to hang out. So yeah, all the footage was filmed there.
Yeah.
For that new music video, and the lighting engineer Neil, he actually lives there on site,
Right.
as like the caretaker, because they've got all accommodation upstairs for bands and everything, and bunks and dressing rooms. So he lives there on site, and he helped us do the lights. And his little piece of trivia is he first did the lights for our old band, Fury UK, when we used to play the small pubs in Blackpool. And I think I was only 14 or 15 when he first did the lights for me. and he's still doing the lights in Blackpool now.
Wow.
So yeah, he likes telling that story.
He'll probably be buried there, I'd say.
Yeah, he's definitely a Blackpool lad.
Yeah. Yeah, because it really comes out in that video how much this lineup is gelling together. It just seems just effortless. It always watching you live just always looks effortless, but it comes across in that music video is just, yeah, there's a real...
Well, good. I mean, we're doing something right, or we're very, very lucky.
Yeah, and Nebworth, that must have been a big moment for you, all right? I know it wasn't a specific Absolva gig, but it's basically Absolva.
Yeah, it's a bucket list moment for anybody. You know, if you're kind of, how did we all put it? You kind of have like levels of bucket list moments as a musician, and it's different things for different people. Yeah. So, you know, some people say Download Festival, some people say Wacken Open Air or Sweden Rock or something. Yeah. And then if you think about it, Nebworth's kind of history on that soil has some, you know, pretty big things, pretty legendary things.
Yeah.
And so we were kind of thinking about it, you know, this is not just we've played as one of the acts, we've headlined the Friday night of Nebworth.
Yeah.
So being a lad from Bury, North Manchester, to kind of be thinking, I've just headlined Nebworth. I just kind of, I say to me, just don't forget, I've just headlined Nebworth. And it is a bit of a kind of pinch me moment, because I actually sent a Facebook message to my high school music teacher. I just said, I don't know what possessed me, but she was in one of these reunion Facebook groups things. Yeah. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to let her know. She might ignore me. I don't know. I've not spoke to her since I've left school. Yeah. But it just felt like a moment of going, you know what? I think my music teacher would really like to know that one of her music students headlined Nebworth. Yeah. So I wrote this big long message, and she read the message and then she ignored me.
Probably like, who's this? There's no way.
Who's this guy randomly messaging me at midnight? I'm probably drunk, isn't he?
Probably thinking, oh yeah, that's him now. He'll never come back down to earth after this one. I just can't give him any praise. No.
Yeah. His head's already too big now. But yeah, it was incredible, and we had the main man, Steve Harris.
I saw the pictures, yeah.
It was quite surreal because he was there all day on the Friday, because of course he's not playing at all on the Friday. Made him a headline on the Saturday. So, and it was quite stressful. It was like one of the hottest day of the years. Yeah. We had to get there, I think it was about 10 o'clock in the morning to get the wristbands and go and load in, and we were having the only sound check of the day. And then we brought our engineer, who's Irish actually, David. We met him in Drogheda, and so we flew him over, and he says, "Right, lads," he says, "I think I'm all ready, so we're nearly ready for a song." And he says, "Right, come on, get on with it." And then we kind of hesitated before we fired into this sound check song, because we just see in the distance this kind of hustle and bustle of like 10 people walking towards us. And I said to Lou, "He looks like Steve Harris." He does. And then he gets closer and closer, and we're all like, "Bloody hell, it is Steve Harris and his entourage." And he comes straight to the barrier, and Blaze comes down and says, "Oh, you're all right, mate." And me and Luke just kind of looked at each other and says, "He's not going to watch the sound check, is he?" So we all kind of went, and we all turned around and said, "We better check our tuning." So we started tuning up again. And then, so then he hung about at the barrier, had a quick chat with Blaze. But then David, our sound man, was like, "I don't know what's going on down there, but I'm still waiting for you to do a song." and then it kind of dispersed, and Blaze came back up the stairs. And then he goes to the monitor engineer. He says, "That's my old bass player, that is." So yeah, he didn't watch the sound check, but luckily he watched the show, and it was nice to hear. He's saying to the other lads, he says, "Don't stop what you're doing, because the way you're doing it and what you're doing, it sounds absolutely fantastic." So it was a nice little seal of approval from what we refer to as like the top man of the top band, really.
Oh, without a doubt. And you were playing a lot of the songs that he would have, because it was a Blaze set, so he worked on those songs.
And we have changed, quite a few bits. Blaze has said, "Oh yeah, we want to make this bit shorter. We want to make this bit longer. Can you do a flashier guitar thing in this bit? Can you do this?" So yeah, things do sound different. So it kind of makes you nervous, if the person who wrote it says, "Oh yeah, what are they messing around with my songs for?" It doesn't go like that. It doesn't go like this, and he's missing a bit here. But it was always the decision. Blaze wants to have it his way, his version.
Yeah.
So it was nice to know it's all been appreciated.
And from the videos, the crowd really got into it that night. It was.
Oh, and I don't think they were expecting it.
Yeah.
Everybody that worked there, I don't think anybody expected it. So we go on. I don't know if you've read the set list, but we go on and we do this kind of 2-minute version of Doctor Doctor.
Yeah.
So we play that instead of having made and have it on the tracks.
Yeah.
And then we go into Lord of the Flies, and Blaze comes on triumphantly, and then we blast into the core of the set. We do Justice of the Peace, which is like a B-side, a maiden B-side from the X Factor album.
Yeah.
And then we do Judgment of Heaven, which is one of my favourites.
One of mine, yeah.
And then you get into Sign of the Cross.
Yeah.
So normally what happens is we give the security man a set list, and then we put a star next to Sign of the Cross, The Klansman, and Man on the Edge. And we just say, if it's going to go off, it's probably going to go off here. So just to give you fair warning.
Yeah.
And then I did feel sorry for the one security man that was on the barrier as these herds of Iron Maiden fans started launching themselves towards him, and there was a couple of accidents. But I mean, if you'd watched the entire day, Maiden United were playing, who were fantastic.
Yeah.
But of course, it's acoustic, so the actual energy of the crowd hadn't reached anywhere near the peak until we came on. And there was a band called Stray that were on before us, which was one of Steve Harris's favourite bands from way back when. Yeah. But of course, nobody really knew their songs. So energy-wise, again, they went down well. But our set list is just, you've got Sign of the Cross, you've got the Klansman in your set list. So it's a bit like having Highway to Hell if you're a covers band, you know. So I just remember this high-vis jacket old man looking at these Swedish giants flying towards him, and he actually moved out the way a couple of times. Just a couple of these guys were falling on the floor. It's like, you meant to catch me. So then all of a sudden, these other two security guards that are just on the corner playing about on the phone, they're going, oh God, you know, Sign of the Cross is happening, man. This is what happens. And then suddenly one guy's on the radio because some guy's broke his arm, and then by the time we'd got to Future Hill, there was 25 security guys on the barrier from one old bloke. So it was fantastic.
Wow.
And nobody really knew how big the crowd was. You know, somebody said, "Oh yeah, we've sold 5,000 tickets for the Friday." It ended up being over 20,000 people on the Friday, and Maiden played to 60,000 on the Saturday. So we played to a third of what Maiden played to. So it was just amazing, you know.
Yeah.
And then you know, wherever we booked the premiere in, I managed to find a Weatherspoons that were playing the England match as well, and they had Murphy's on draft. So I was like, this is a great place. What a great day.
Cap it off with a nice Murphy's. Yeah.
It's really taken off. Murphy's in England again. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, it's you know, it's not been around for ages, and then all of a sudden there's been a Murphy's takeover.
Right.
You know, I don't know if it's anything to do with the Guinness shortage. You know?
Oh, they talk about that every few years. Yeah, there's a shortage again. It's just a kind of.
It's probably our fault after Nebworth.
And it must be hard to come down after a gig like that. I'd say it must have been days just shit. I just did that.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's the pinch me moment. After the show, there was like another part. There was like a party band doing like a covers thing. It's like a thing, you know, just doing the standard, you know, rock covers to keep everybody happy. Well, everyone's canned up. Yeah. And then whilst we were doing this, we went to our dressing room, which is kind of on the other side of the festival site. And then all of a sudden, there's like a knock on the door. This, again, another high-vis jacket. There's you're invited to the secret barbecue. I'm like, what secret? But what the hell's a secret barbecue? It sounds a bit dodgy to me. There's oh yeah, if you just go out here and you go through there, you go to the secret barbecue. Should we just go? And it's like, and see what it's all about. And we went in. Steve Harris is sat there with his mates. Yeah. And then Air Force are there, Stray, all the other bands or whatever. Go to the bar and I'll have a trooper or, you know, whatever they had on. Yeah. I don't know how much, you know, expecting, you know, £9.50 or something ridiculous, you know. And, oh, it's free. Oh,
happy days.
Like, are you joking? She says, that's the secret barbecue. You get a free burger, free sausage, and you get a free bar. And it's like, well, who's paying for all this? He says, Mr. Harris, sir. I'm like, this is a good day.
He's just a top bloke, that Mr. Harris.
Says he's done this before, hasn't he?
No wonder he's so popular.
No wonder everybody loves him. Secret, everyone's got a free sausage and a pint. Yeah, so that was a good way of coming down and sort of like, you know, reflecting on what you've just done. So
and to hang out in good company like that after then as well really helps, I'd say.
Yeah. He was very approachable, you know, and he was. You know, it's nice to see that Blaze has this relationship still.
Oh, definitely.
With Iron Maiden, because that relationship could have gone a variety of different ways over the years, but it never ever has gone a negative way. It's always been a positive way. So I think that's really good for everybody, really, because I think they probably could have been in a position of, we could have really had our hands full with this Blaze Bailey guy. He could be saying all sorts about us, slagging us off over the years, but he never has. And from Blaze's point of view, look at the benefits that it's paid off for him now by just being nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I suppose they had their hands full with Paul over the years. I know I've met Paul loads of times, lovely fella, but he did really give him
he was kind of like Manchester. Paul was like Manchester United in the 90s. You never knew what team was going to show up. It's like, is nice Paul going to turn up today, or is the other Paul going to turn up today?
Yeah,
it was just very unpredictable, and legendary. Really, he is a legend. He was the first singer on the first two I Maiden albums, so you can't take it away from him. But he had what's the right word to say it? He had a very difficult career. He was plagued with, he left the band. Yeah. But then what we don't really understand is he left Iron Maiden, but then continued to try and make a career out of music by singing only that Iron Maiden stuff.
Yeah.
He never kind of did what Blaze did, really, was really pursue a solo career and really, make his own music just as important. But yeah, I met him a couple of times, and I met him on a good day and I met him on a bad day.
And he wouldn't be long telling you he's having a bad day either.
yeah.
That's what I liked about him. No, I'm not. No, I'm fed up. I'm not talking.
It was funny. But he still always seemed to be able to sing, which was always a shock. I'd see him chuck so much down his neck, but then he's still able to walk on or wheel himself on and sing. And still have that. His style of singing was completely different to Bruce's and Blaze's. He almost was kind of from the world of Lemmy, really. He had a very raspy, raucous kind of voice. And then he could do a scream when he wanted to do. He could do all this big stuff, which was quite interesting. He was quite a unique fella. We were all sad when he went.
That was devastating, because I suppose a lot of us didn't know. No one really expected it was going to happen, because he was coming back up again. He was really starting to make waves again. We only had his manager on,
Stefan Joris,
2
episodes ago.
Yeah, and he was saying that he was coming up because this was his swan song, but people didn't realise it, and I think that's why everyone was shocked. It was a sad day. It was sad for Blaze, because Blaze had done some touring with Paul. They did a tour in Russia and South America, Blaze versus Paul, they called it. So Blaze would go on first, they'd share like a backing band. Blaze would go on first, do his era, 45 minutes, then Paul would go on after, and then they'd do like, Wrathchild and, a couple of others were together and almost like sing against each other, which was always really cool, and he'd done that kind of thing with Ripper Owens as well from Priest. Oh, I'd love to have seen that.
So, he's done a few interesting things. But, Paul's, it was sad to see him go. Like you said, he was coming back up. Yeah. And he seemed to be sorting his stuff out, and we were hoping all his surgery and everything would get him on the straight and narrow. Yeah. But things are never that straightforward sometimes, are they?
No, unfortunately. And how did you? I know this is supposed to be all about Absolva, but you are the backing man for Blaze Bailey.
Yeah, it's part of our story, isn't it?
Yeah, he gives you so much credit on every show that you're the man that got him back into metal. Like, how did that come about, the Absolva Blaze Bailey story?
Well, I met Blaze years before. I kind of said, do you want to have a go? Yeah. And it was Fury UK again. We got the support for Blaze over in Leeds. But back then I was such a cheeky little devil. That's the nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
So it was all before Instagram and before Facebook really took off. And the way you had to get a gig was pick up the phone and phone the booking agents and phone the managers and the promoters.
Yeah.
And I picked up the phone and I said, I want my band to support Blaze Bayley at Leeds. I think it was when Bradford Rios moved to Leeds very briefly, and I ended up landing a slot, opening up for Blaze at this Leeds place, and it was just as he was putting together the Man Who Would Not Die band,
Right. Which was a fantastic band, yeah. And
that's where we first met Larry, who we still have a good relationship with. So we turned up, it was doors at 7 and we turned up at like 4 or something, normal kind of 3 or 4 hours before. Blaze turned up at 7:15. And he's like, right, what's going on? I says, well, we were kind of assuming that you'd probably have a sound check. Oh, there's no time for that. He says, you lads get your stuff on, you're on first. And says, everybody will do half an hour and then I'll go on at 9:30 and I'll do. I'm like, right, okay. And then there was 11 people in the audience that night. And we were one of 4 support bands, I think.
Yeah.
And I think 8 of the people that were there came to see us. So that was kind of me. But I still had my mind, I was a bit, it must have been something wrong with the venue or something wrong with the promoter, not promoted right. And then, I thought, I'll phone the same guy, see if he can get me Manchester, can really show him what we can do. I can sell 30 tickets myself for a Manchester gig.
Yeah.
So they booked us for supporting Blaze, main support this time, at Gillies Rock World in Manchester. And I think I sold about 35, 40 tickets for it.
Yeah.
And again, I think there was probably about 50 people in the audience, and most of the people I sold the tickets to. But we got over these sort of like couple of gigs. I did it for another couple of gigs in Stoke and somewhere else.
Yeah.
And we got quite pally with the band and with Blaze. And then in comes an email from Blaze and the manager at the time, and said, we really want to invite you to be the main support for Blaze Bayley on his Man Who Would Not Die UK tour, 30 dates across the UK. And I'm like, this is incredible. And it says, we're going to give you 30 quid a night. And then, which again was unheard of. Back then, it was like, you want to get on a tour, you better pay £200, £300 a night.
Yeah.
So I was like, we're going to get 30 quid out of it. That's enough to, get a quarter of a tank in the transit,
Yeah.
And then we went out and did that because it was huge for us. We'd never played London. We'd never played Scotland. We'd never really branched out of the Northwest that much. So, but to do it on a tour with Blaze, and he actually invited us, was mega. And then we kept in touch, and then we were pretty big band back then, Fury UK, because it was all before social media stuff, so everything was a bit more organic. And we landed after that Blaze tour, we got a tour with Michael Schenker. Then somebody at Michael Schenker saw us, so we got the tour with Y&T. And then after Y&T, we landed the tour with Saxon.
Deadly.
So the package was Fury UK, and then we saw Blaze again because Wolfsbane were the main support with Saxon headlining.
Yeah.
So of course, then we saw Blaze again, and he's like, not you guys, I guess, And then we kind of lost touch for a little bit, and then I saw a few posts online that he'd gone bankrupt, and then he'd gone bankrupt again.
Yeah.
And then he was doing a lot of acoustic stuff. I think he basically abandoned trying to keep a band together. and he was doing a lot of acoustic stuff with Jace and with Thomas. And back then I was still working as a sound man in Manchester, and I put a few little gigs on myself.
Yeah.
So I got an email one day from, I think it was Blaze's wife at the time, who was managing him. Hi Chris, we need a Wednesday night in Manchester. Can you put a gig on? How much? Agreed a price. It bloody snowed on a Wednesday night, and I still managed to get enough people to cover his fee. Amazing thing. And then that was when the conversation started. Then I just said, why are you not like doing any heavy metal anymore? And he says, oh, I was going to have a nervous breakdown. The business was just bankrupt and everything. Yeah. And what I didn't understand was all these bands before, it wasn't Blaze Bailey the solo artist, it was Blaze Bailey the band. Yeah. So everybody had 20%.
Right.
So I was like, well, that doesn't make sense, really. He says, you're the singer, you're the name, you're the guy who sang for Iron Bloody Maiden. Yeah. You know, surely to God, you should be 100%, and then you just pay the guys, you know, almost like session musicians kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because there's, you know, you've worked with some fantastic musicians, but you sang for Iron Maiden, you're kind of the name on the tin kind of thing.
Yeah.
And once it just got into the bones of it all, it just became more and more clear that he wasn't a businessman. He's an artist. You know, he's not interested in the business, or even if he is interested in the business, that's not what he's good at.
Yeah.
You know, he's good at making songs. He's not good with money. You know, and even to this day, he's not allowed to have a business card because he doesn't trust himself enough. So, and that was kind of the start of it. He said that night, I remember it very clearly. He said, "Why are you not playing heavy metal anymore? Why are you doing this acoustic?" And I says, "Well, it's very stressful, but another thing I need, Chris, is I need a band. I need a British band, so I don't have to pay for flights and visas and all this other stuff. And I need a band who's already together, who can rehearse all the material, so I can just walk in, they know the songs, and I can just sing." Yeah. And I was like, I know a band like that. it's mine. And then as things progressed, and you know, we got the job to do that first tour. That's when we took over the management, and then I took over the bookings, and you know, and things just kind of happened. You know, it was slow because you know he was really unpopular for those first couple of years. You know, we weren't getting any kind of numbers that we were getting now.
Yeah.
So it was a nice progression, and it was good for me to get a lot of experience with the bookings. You know, I've never been a booking agent before, but you know, I just booked gigs for my band, and I thought, well, I seem to be all right booking gigs for my band. If I can send a load of emails out to all these venues and say I'm booking for Blaze Bailey, you know, previous singer of Iron Maiden, surely that should be easier. I don't know. It was hard at first, but you know, and it still is a hard work. You know, coordinate it all.
I'd say logistics is a nightmare, all right, trying.
Yeah. But I've been completely self-taught at it all. You know, I had nobody to say, "Oh, you should do it like this, you should do it like that." I was just completely going in, very, very, just like the trial and error on everything, and. Same with Absolva, you know, there was no kind of set template on how we should work. We just thought, oh well, if I book a gig for us in Belgium, and then I book a gig for us in Germany, how far's that? Oh, I didn't check. You know, and then I think we'll go to Poland after that because it's next to Germany. You know, so you know maybe that first tour it was like. Why are we driving 7 or 8 hours between gigs? I'm like, I don't know, because that was the only place I could get, really, at the time. You know, and then I just got better at it, and it's like, oh, if we play here in Germany, and then there's a gig only 2 or 3 hours away, then we'll do that one next. Yeah, that's a much better idea. And then we can all actually sleep, you know. So yeah, but that's a completely kind of another element of what I do. Really, is it almost feels like the guitarist bit is almost just like 5%, and 95% of the time I'm sat in this office and I'm booking the gigs, emailing promoters, emailing managers, checking stage times, catering times, and when all the really boring stuff.
God bless your patience, because putting all that together is just tedious. It's
Well, sometimes it has its advantages because it's like, oh, we've got a travel day before we get to this gig.
Yeah.
Well, what we can do, there's a very nice hotel there with a schnitzel restaurant next door, and they do some very, very nice local German beer. So yeah, I think it's a good idea that we have a business meeting at this hotel.
Just mark it down, business expense, business expense.
Middle of the tour debrief for everybody.
Yeah. We have to have one of them at least twice a week.
Oh yeah. You have to make sure you're on top form, like you need to do it.
Yeah. It's necessary. It keeps everybody, just keeps the morale.
Yeah,
that's excellent.
And it's turned into the best dynamic you could imagine for a main solo artist and a band, because the Absolva supporting Blaze Bailey, it's some night, no matter where you go, where you tour. It's like, it's one of the, and to me it's kind of the smaller the venue the better, because when you cram everyone in together, then the energy you bring, you must be feeding off the crowd, because I've never seen a bad night with both of you together.
Yeah, it was that night in Cork. Well, that weekend in Cork, because we did two nights at Fred Zeppelin's.
Yeah.
And everybody told me, says, "Oh, it's small, that Fred Zeppelin's," And I'm like, "Oh well, we've done loads of small gigs before. It's fine." And they're like, "No, this is really small." They're like, "No, I'll be all right. It'll be fine." And then when we went to load in, I'm like, "Oh my God, how are we going to make this work?" I'm like, the stage is bigger than the area for the audience. But we spent about a full day before the first gig. We spent a full day, and this is what people don't see. Is we had bin bags, collecting all plastic cups and bloody rubble and whatever. I asked for a Hoover. It's probably one of the first times I've ever asked the venue management. It's like, "Can I have a Hoover?" So what for? "I want to Hoover the stage and the stage room." I think it says, "We've got people travelling from Sweden and all over the world to come to this gig. I want them to feel like this is going to be a night to remember." So they're not going to remember it when the place is looking untidy like this.
Maybe that's why I didn't recognise the place when I went in there. I was like, "Fuck, I'm sure this place is filthier than last time I was here."
And then we had a couple of our own lads with us, so I kind of half rebuilt the sound system whilst we were in there as well. I thought, I don't know what's going on here, so I kind of unplugged everything and then plugged everything back in together and messed around with the lights. But it was absolutely amazing, because again we kind of thrive in these small venue situations. Like we were talking about Nebworth before. Within reason, going on stage in front of 20,000 people is relatively easy, because you've already won. You've already won the gig before you've even played a note. You just have to get up and play the songs, put your fist in the air, and everybody's happy. Going into a small gig situation, that's the challenge. That's the challenge. It's like when people are stood there going, "Come on then, impress me," and if everybody's feeling a bit self-conscious because, we're in a small room with 50 people or 100 people or whatever. And that's the challenge. It's making the small gig feel like Nebworth. And it's making Nebworth 20,000 people, making them feel like they're in a small, intimate pub. That's the constant kind of challenge. But we had a great time at Cork. That it was certainly because it was so quirky, and because we kind of thought, if we're going to do this, we're really going to put all our effort in. We're going to clean the place up, we'll sort the sound out, sort the lights out, really make it a nice place for a Blaze Bailey weekend, and Absolva that weekend as well.
Yeah.
And then we came off that first night and we went straight down, and I'd never drank a pint of Beamish. And then suddenly it's like, oh, you're on the Beamish? Yeah, I'm on the Beamish. And there's three Maiden fans. We nicknamed them the Three Amigos because it was kind of Blaze's triumphant return to Ireland. And Absolva had never really done a proper tour of Ireland either. And so there was these fans that basically booked an Irish holiday and went to every single show on the 2-week tour. And it was we nicknamed him the Klansman because he's a Scottish guy. Yeah. And then I think she's Irish, and then her husband's from the Netherlands, Dutch. And the three of them, they go all over the world to all these Maiden concerts. And then they decided, oh yeah, this looks real fun. It's like, because you're playing some like really quirky places in Ireland. We've booked the whole tour. We'll come see Absolva and Blaze every night. They're absolutely blasted out of their mind. But of course, it's very handy to have people like that at the end of a gig. It's like, and then suddenly all these pints of Beamish just keep getting launched out. So it was great. And of course, the Sunday night gig is a matinee, so it's slightly earlier. Yeah. So you've kind of got a limited time to sober up between Saturday night and Sunday afternoon. So, but yeah, it was fantastic. That was a real sort of return to Ireland for us, that tour. Yeah. And Absolva, we'd not really been back to Ireland since the first year, since the debut album, where we got 2 shows supporting Iced Earth. One of the Dublin at the Button Factory and the Limelight in Belfast. Yeah. So that was we kind of had a good start with Absolva.
It was a great start, playing the 2 of those.
Yeah. It was and of course it was the first time Iced Earth had ever played Ireland. They'd never played Dublin in the whole career. So as soon as we had that first show, it was completely sold out at Button Factory. So yeah, it was a weird one for Absolva because we had a great start in Ireland, but we could never really follow it up. I really struggled getting the gigs. Yeah. So to go back over with Absolva and Blaze, that was a real triumphant return. So we absolutely took advantage of every moment we were there.
Oh, excellent.
And Ireland's hard with getting gigs and things. Are you find that a little bit more profitable now coming over to Ireland? Because I know some bands struggle to tour the profit.
Yeah, well, the main cost is that ferry. For quite a long time, we were just going up to the Diamond in Ballymena because he's got such a great setup there. And all right, it's a small place, but you book the flight. And that comes as part of your deal, but then he's got all the equipment there. He's got all the drums, cymbals, bass amps, guitars, and because it's so close to Belfast Airport, you don't really need to take anything. The first time I was there, he even said, I've got Gibson guitars. You don't even need to bring your own guitar if you don't want. So just book your flight, and certainly the first time we did the Diamond, it was like dirt cheap flights to Belfast Airport, like 20 quid, 30 quid flights. Yeah. So that was the only way we could really do it because the ferry was so expensive, and we needed to make sure we had a run of gigs to cover that cost, basically, even if it just wiped its face. but yeah, we're finding it much easier now. You know, I've spread the contacts further, and you know, if I do things the way I need to do it, you know, and of course this whole bloody Brexit thing with the carnets and the documents and everything just made things 10 times worse. Just going to France, you know, so I found loads of little loopholes. To, you know, the first year that we started touring again, and we went to France, it cost us €10,000 just for all the customs documents.
Yeah.
So the second year says, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
Says, well, what we're going to do? I says, we're going to buy a drum kit in Europe, and we're going to leave it in Europe.
Yeah.
And what else is going to do? So we're going to buy a couple of cheap amps in Europe and leave them in Europe.
Yes.
So now every time we get that ferry from Folkestone to Calais, we've hardly got anything in the back of the van. So if customs say, "Oh, open the back of the van, you need you know, customs documents," and it's like, well, actually we don't, because we've got nothing in the back. all our equipment stays with some friends of ours over in Germany or Belgium, and we just go pick up the equipment, and then when we finish the tour, we'll go drop it all back off again. Done. So
genius.
Yeah, it's genius. Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure that's what a lot of the other bands do. They just hire the equipment rather than taking it all. It must be so complicated for some of the bigger bands on tour buses. So whoever's job that is to do all the customs documents, I do not envy them one bit.
Jesus. I know. Is it Absolva have a couple of live gigs, not this year, but you have some lined up for next year already, do you?
Yeah. So we've just been confirmed for Call of the Wild Festival. Which is quite a big deal. He's put us quite high up on the lineup, which we're going to kind of really focus in on the 15th anniversary. So, yeah, I've completely lost track of my conversation now. I need to remember this is an Absolva interview. So going back to this, the 15th anniversary thing. So basically, what we're going to do is go all the way back to the first album, Flames of Justice, and I think I've already been in touch with the guy who recorded Flames of Justice and been in contact with that studio over in Doncaster. He's still got the original files for the first album. So I said, I want to do something special. I want to have some new artwork, you know, and upgrade the artwork. Of course, 15 years ago, it was still pre the vinyl boom that came back. So that first album never made it onto vinyl. So I said, I want to do a remix and a remaster, and I want to make sure we've got all these really good quality audio formats, so we can go new CD edition, we can do cassette, and we can finally get it on vinyl. For the 15th anniversary. So we're going to reissue the debut album. And it kind of feels right because now Tom's back in the band as well. So that's nice. And then we're still talking about this, and we've obviously got to look at the set list, but we were even, because it's worked so well when we've done it with Blaze, when he did his Silicon Messiah tour, we were thinking about playing the whole of the Flames of Justice album from start to finish.
Yeah.
You know, it's a big task and it's a big ask, but I just thought, if we're going to do a 15th anniversary thing and we're going to reissue the first album, should we just go for it? You know, should we just do it? And then, just hope that my voice stays, stays all right through it, because
there was no fear of that.
there was a lot of high songs back then, and I was 15 years younger back then. but I think when we do the Call of the Wild Festival, we've got another one confirmed in North Wales at Pentre Festival, so we're headlining that, and I've got quite a long string of European dates which are still yet to be announced. So that's the plan. We're not going to be like touring as much as we have done, because we're really focusing on doing these festivals and doing the bigger shows.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be touring as often, but what we are going to be doing is going to be a big anniversary Flames of Justice show.
Right.
So I think you've got this exclusive, actually. I don't think I've told anybody yet.
Yes. Finally.
Yeah. I'm only thinking about this as I'm saying. I thought, yeah, maybe I've had the conversation with the lads about it. It's like, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. But yeah, I don't think I've actually put anything out yet. So there you go. There's your exclusive.
Promote the shit out of this episode over the next week. We have the big one. Wake up now in the morning, it'll be all over Instagram and everything. Ah, fuck it. Why didn't we release it last night?
So yeah, it is exciting for me, because like we said at the beginning of this episode, you don't really start a band thinking that you're going to last 15 years.
Yeah.
Like we said before, it's like sometimes you start a band and you're kind of lucky if you last 2 years, and you're still around.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we've got some great fans. We've got fans that travel everywhere to see us.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll do. We often do like a Christmas gig in Manchester to kind of mark the end of the year. So we're planning the next big Christmas gig for Christmas 2027. But on those Christmas gigs in the past, I'll look out into the audience and it won't just be full of Mancunians. I'm like, you're from Germany, you're from Belgium, you're from Ireland, you're from Hungary, you're from Sweden, you're from France. I'm like, I bet half the room is non-Mancunians. It's quite remarkable. But that's. And I said, why have you come to this gig? I want to see my favourite band in their hometown.
Yeah.
And I'm like, excellent. Fair enough. And I'm like, but I'm like, that's dedication. Christmas time, and they book the flights, they book the hotels, paying for the meals and whatever. And I thought, so it does add a little bit of pressure, because you're like, better be good tonight, Chris. You better be good. A lot of people spent a lot of money, not just the ticket, it's everything else.
Yeah. Because we can see it at the Irish gigs. The couple we've gone to now, you go to the first one, second one, oh, I know him. Yeah. The next one again, hey, same people again. Next one, oh, hey, we're all here again. You start to get this new group of mates that you keep seeing everywhere.
Yeah. No, it's you feel that's kind of your fuel, is that these people that time and time again, the Absolva maniacs, if you will. And they will come to everything. They will buy everything that you release. They're very, very dedicated fans. And, I absolutely have to not forget that, when things do get a little bit more stressful and there's a lot going on or whatever, it's like, I need to, again, just remind myself, like, I'm doing it for these guys. These guys are really, really, really dig what we do. So, you've got to feel privileged for having that kind of fan base, even if it is just very humble compared to your Metallica kind of size bands. So that's what keeps you doing what you're doing. Keeps the dream of being a 100% full-time musician. Yeah. So
because you have your own fan club as well, and a pretty healthy fan club as well.
Yeah, Absolva FC, and again we do kind of special things. Oh, there's a cat.
Yeah.
And Ted.
Yeah, we do special things for them because they pay a monthly subscription. So we give them special posters. We give them YouTube footage, backstage footage, behind the scenes stuff with what's going on the road. You know, it was just last week when we were in Germany and we had a travel day, and we're like, oh, we've got a lot of time to kill between Karlsruhe and Munich.
Yeah.
And we had to pick somebody up from the airport. So we said, what should we do? And I said, well, just outside Munich, there's this huge guitar shop. I think it's a good idea that we make a stop here. So who knows? Says one of us might walk out with a guitar, a pedal or something. And he says, but there is a very good Italian restaurant around the corner as well. So, you know, if nobody buys a guitar from this guitar shop, we can certainly have one of our business meetings at this Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
Yes. And but you know, these guitar shops in Germany, they're really huge. You know, a wall of Gibson guitars.
Yeah.
Which, you know, once you finish drooling, you kind of you know, it's like, well, which one shall I try?
Yeah.
But of course, this was all great footage for Absolva FC. You know,
Yes.
Martin goes looking at the drums, and
Yeah.
then, you know, I'm looking at music books, and I find this music book, Singing for Dummies. You know, so it's all good fun, and you know, like I said to you before, with this new lineup, because we're all very comfortable in our own skin around each other, you know, there's a lot more funny moments because of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think I said on one of my recent Facebook posts, it's like, you know, Spinal Tap have got nothing on us. You know, it's like, you know, that is very much fiction. We're probably more Phoenix Nights than Spinal Tap.
Oh, excellent.
At least everyone now can sign up to the fan club anyway. Come join the Maniacs.
Yeah, well, do you know what? That'll make a very good Absolva fan club T-shirt. You know, I'm an Absolva fan, and on the back it's like, Spinal Tap have got nothing on us. You know.
Excellent.
So have you started any writing for a new album for next year?
Yeah, we've got the bones of some, you know, very early ideas. Like at the moment, everything's kind of really focusing on the 50th anniversary and getting this reissue out. But we do want to get a new studio album out as soon as possible. It might turn into an EP, but not because there's anything wrong with doing an EP, but I often think, well, if you've got the time to write 4 or 5 songs, it's like, well, just write 4 or 5 more songs. You've got an album. Just, you know, it's not that I turn my nose up at it. It's just kind of like, well, everything costs the same. Yeah. So, you know, if you know, knuckle down and really come up with some corking songs, you know, it's worth the extra gravel.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got the bones of some early ideas, and we kind of want to go a little bit in a different direction. You know, it'll still sound like Absolva and it'll still sound British heavy metal, but we kind of want to go into a new dimension, if you will. So like the Justice album was kind of focused on this kind of heavy metal western, you know, and we kind of themed everything on the film Tombstone, you know, so it was a very aggressive kind of western. Never a Good Day to Die. It was quite a dark album. A lot of dark themes and dark kind of subjects, really. A lot of dark subjects on you know, in the songs. Defiance was quite an uplifting album. It was, you know, verging on being quite power metal with some of the topics. But everything was kind of like pick yourself up, carry on. Self-belief, if you will. Side by Side was, you know, a combination of everything. So yeah, for this new album, we want to try and go into a different dimension, So music-wise, it will, carry on the same as, it will 100% sound like Absolva, but we want to explore new subjects. We take a lot of influence from obviously IMhC, and they always seem to have this thing where every album had a different theme, and even like the post Brave New World albums were we're all very influenced by the album A Matter of Life and Death, which was all really focused on World War One kind of subject matter and imagery. And I was listening to one of their songs the other day from that album, and I'm like, isn't it weird that a heavy metal band has just written a song, written this song, and I'm listening to it, and it really is. And we were driving through France at the time, and I'm like, it says, why does this heavy metal song sound like First World War? It's this music is almost like the soundtrack to young soldiers walking, to sign up for the war. Why does this piece of music sound like the battle's going off? Why does this piece of music sound like there's bodies just laying no man's land?
The longest day, you can nearly hear the splashes in the water as people are going into it. It's
So I was like, I want to do that. I want to create music that, when you read a book, you have an image in your head, and you have this imagination. I want to create more stuff like that, where you listen to an Absolva song and you think and you see something, so it makes a connection. So, that's a challenge in itself. I don't think many people think like that when they're writing songs, but when you home in on things like that, Maiden are very good at that kind of thing. They write a lot of songs about books and movies. So everything kind of has a purpose. It's not woke up this morning. So I do like meaningful, as much as we all like having a laugh. We do like meaningful lyrics and meaningful songwriting. So. It's good content. Good content.
Brilliant. And will we see you in Ireland next year?
I really hope so. Yeah. I really hope so. There's a couple of options that are on the table, and it's probably the main thing. It's like, are we going to fly there or are we going to drive there? That's the main challenge. But yeah, I'd really like to get there for this 15th anniversary thing. So it might be more like the back end of 2027.
Oh, whatever. As long as you get here. That's the main thing.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Brilliant.
That's excellent.
Yeah, no, brilliant. Thanks a million, Chris, for your time and everything. And really all the best now for next year, because...
Thanks very much for having me. And it's been a lot of fun. I think stay in touch. Let's build something nice for when we come back to Ireland, and we can really build an event out of it.
Yeah.
Well, the International Metalheads Club are there to support you wherever you go anyway. And if a new album comes out or you want to just check in during the tour, come back on an episode anytime. We're always good to have you for a chat and to hang out for a while.
Yeah, sure. Nice one.
That's excellent. Brilliant. Thanks a million, Chris.
All right. Take it easy, guys.
No,
thanks for having me.
That's great. We'll talk to you soon again.
See you later.
Yeah, thanks.
Metalheads, brothers and sisters, hope you enjoyed that show. If you ever get a chance to check out Absolva, please do. They are just awesome live. And also, you can also catch them with Blaze Bailey. They're also hitting South America next year, which for those South American fans is going to be one hell of a time. They love their metal. Don't forget to join the club. Go to the Join Us section at internationalmetalheadsclub.com. When it comes to later in the year, do pick up the Absolva album live at Mannheim. And until next week, shake it easy, done and dusted, I'm out of here. Tally ho!